So, NASCAR has made it official. The Chicago Street Race is happening. We tweeted about it, tried to stop it, tried to give our opinion, but as usual, it didn't go through. It's happening. It's been made official. We even have an official layout for the race. And, we have to be open-minded. We have to understand the reason NASCAR is doing it. We can not like that reason, but it's important to understand it. And the reason they're doing it is to break into a bigger market, to get their name out there. The LA Coliseum Clash, that was a big deal, and it was hyped as a big deal, and it thankfully delivered on being a big deal, and it was great for the sport. They are trying to replicate that, putting it into the main points system race, into the main schedule, and they're hoping to get the same results. I don't think that's going to happen. Chicago is a great market to get into, but I think that the racing is what is going to fall flat. I'm always thinking about a street course and stock cars. They're on this layout currently. There are a lot of long straightaways and very tight corners, very box-like course just all over the streets of Chicago. And long straightaways, tight corners doesn't make for a lot of great passing in NASCAR. It could lead to a lot of bumping, but honestly, these Cup guys, I wasn't overwhelmed by the amount of bumping we got on a very short track made for bumping with the LA Clash. And maybe that was because it was a non-points race. They didn't want to mess up their cars, which is very, very possible. I just don't see these Cup level drivers getting out there and beating and banging for the entirety of the race. Maybe it'll have a great finish. They'll probably find a way to throw a caution near the end, and there'll be a lot of beating and banging at the end, but I just don't see these guys tearing up their stuff just for this one race. And I just don't see there being a lot of natural passing outside of people hitting each other. So for me, I'm worried about the actual ability of this race to be good, and I think that that would negate any of the good marketing that came out of it, because you can market the hell out of something, but if you don't deliver on the actual product, I mean, what was all the marketing for? That's, of course, completely my opinion. I have not data tested this, simulated this. I haven't done any of that work. All we can do is hope that NASCAR knows that this is going to put on a good show, knows that this is a market that is going to be very beneficial to the long-term, health of the sport. The bad thing about it is, and the part that I'm more sour on than anything, I don't really mind putting a big race like this, even if the racing is going to be kind of meh, because I'm not really the biggest road course fan. I've definitely come around to them. But what I dislike the most and what really turns me off is the fact that this means Road America will in fact lose its race. All the great Wisconsin fans that came out, supported their track, they no longer have a track to go to without traveling long distance. And it really just sucks because I know that the race wasn't great, but it wasn't bad enough to take it off the schedule. And I mean, elephant in the room, it's what everybody talks about. You have a track like Texas that has never produced good racing, or at least not in any time that people remember, and it still has 2 dates. And it's probably going to remain having 2 dates because Marcus Smith essentially runs, NASCAR without having an official title in NASCAR. I think that the biggest sticking point, though, is NASCAR has always said, well, if fans come out and support the track, they will keep it. Well, we've seen that that's clearly not the case because Wisconsin, y'all came out, y'all supported this track, and you deserve better than this. But unfortunately, politics, money, and just, I guess, overall marketability has played you out. I don't know why this Chicago street race will make a good 4th of July race. I've talked about before, my opinion, they need to either move Daytona back to the 4th of July race, or maybe move Atlanta to the cutoff date and give, this Chicago street course race the current Atlanta date. I think that, and then maybe give Road America the All-Star race, which I think I caught a lot of flack on giving a road course the All-Star race. But I think we'd all agree we'd rather see that than Texas. Just out of spite at this point. We'd rather see anything over Texas. Either way, that's all speculative. What is concrete fact is that unfortunately Road America is losing its date to a Chicago street course that we have no idea how good of stock cars will run on it. But as much as it sucks for the Wisconsin fans, we as a whole have to just stay positive, hope that they know what they're doing, hope that it lives up to the hype, because I think this thing is going to get hyped up a lot. And at the end of the day, this is great marketing for NASCAR. Putting a street course race on the streets of Chicago, and while Chicago is not an LA or a New York, it's still a big city, and people that don't know NASCAR are going to tune in to watch it just out of curiosity to see these cars that they remember Jeff Gordon, Dale Earnhardt, Tony Stewart driving, racing on streets that they drive on. People are going to tune in to watch it, and that's the important part. We just have to hope that we put on a good enough show to make them want to tune in next week. Hopefully everybody at NASCAR has done that homework and knows what they're doing, and that's the best we can hope for.